Well, thank you, everyone. We should probably go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, Tuesday, September 26th. I'm going to ask for Amaris if she could pull up the slides, but actually it might be, yes, there we go. The agenda is in the chat box. Thank you so much, Amaris, for organizing that agenda and preparing us. Next slide. So as we start off, if anyone could read our land acknowledgement, if I could get a volunteer to read the land acknowledgement, please.
I can read that.
Thank you, Pilar.
It's Katie, I think.
Oh, I thought I saw
Katie.
Pilar.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. If you volunteer, Pilar, please go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
I think you were before me. Sounds like. Please.
Okay, sure. So founded in 1889, the University of New Mexico sits on the traditional homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia. The original peoples of New Mexico, Pueblo, Navajo, and Apache, since time immemorial, have deep connections to the land and have made significant contributions to the broader community statewide. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations, and also acknowledge our committed relationship to Indigenous peoples. We gratefully recognize our history.
Thank you so much, both Pilar and Katie. So we just want to go into our first agenda item before handing it over to Dr. Sidonis. Any quick acknowledgements by anyone? Any quick acknowledgements? Okay. Well, thank you again, Dr. Sidonis, for joining us. And we appreciate all the updates that you provide.
Great. Well, if we take down the slides, then I get to see everybody's smiling face. So great to see everybody. Helen, have you met this group before?
Thank you, Dr. Zidonis. No, I have not met the group as a whole, but a few individuals here and there.
Great. Why don't you introduce yourself and your role here? We're so excited that we stole you from the city. And
Of course. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad to meet all of you, meet you. I share JP's goal that hopefully one day we can all meet together in person. And I'm just so glad to be a part of the team. I think I've been here now for about a month. Come to you from the city of Albuquerque, where I served as Director of Public Affairs, and have just kind of hit the ground running here, helping on a number of different initiatives, including supporting Dr. Zidonis and the team in the area of government affairs, and also working with Dr. Shanoa Stillwell Jensen to bring together community leaders for our second Health Equity Summit, December 12th. So you will be getting more info on that, and hopefully I will get to meet many of you as a part of that effort. But just here supporting a number of initiatives, and again, happy to be a part of the team. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Helen. And over time, you'll get to know everybody's name and what a great team. Helen's also helping me with doing a range of listening tours, going into teams. Millie, I want to thank you for your opening up your team to us, and wow, what a great team you have, and being able to see also the Native American services, etc. So I would extend the opportunity, if anybody else would like to have us come visit one of your team meetings and listen to, what are the critical issues. I want to thank also Anita, We went to the Leo office. She did a great job there with Deanna, who is also on this, except not showing her smiling face. She's showing her whole family's smiling face. So, Leo office, it was really great to see there and have those conversations. And Millie, anything you want to say that post the meeting rippled?
No, I just appreciate, like your visit and getting to know Helen and your team. And we're excited to just partner in the future with the Health Equity Summit and other initiatives that you have. So thank you so much.
Great. Either Deanna or Anita, anything you want to say about Leo?
Well, thank you, Dr. Z, and apologies, I'm off camera. I'm traveling right now, but I excited to be working with this leadership team and others on a proposal to expand the Learning Environment Office across the Health Sciences Center. We're actually meeting with the deans of the colleges this afternoon for that conversation. So just really excited to be able to take some of the services that we're doing and resources that are currently available for School of Medicine and offer that across the health sciences. And always interested in folks' input and feedback and just engagement in our processes. I think that's been really, really helpful. So thank you all.
Great. Thanks. We have a town hall coming up that my office will be putting together. I think there's been a save the date that's gone out. One of the topic areas that you all could help us on is, in addition to the 7 strategic priorities, we have 7 accelerators. And the accelerators we kind of see as the connective tissue on the strategic plan. And one of the 7 is DEI. So, belonging, dignity, justice, and traditional DEI. So if any of you have an interest to help us in that area, Erica Richards has been identified to sort of be in parallel with Yvette Cerna. And she's just starting to put the team together. Of course, JP and Val are our sort of key 2 people, but we really want to make sure that we're engaging with the Inclusive Excellence Council and aligning there. It'll be kind of a smaller group that will help us look through all of the 7 strategic priorities. Where's their overlap? What's missing? We also need this group to align with the UNM 2040. If you remember, we have 5 key strategic priorities in UNM 2040, and 1 is DEI with Asada Zarai. So this work group would help with the connective tissue across the 7 strategic priorities and the alignment with the one university. So if you have an interest, either send a little chat message to Helen, send an email to Helen, either way would work. And we would appreciate your help on that. Perhaps at another meeting, Erica Richards could be invited to just talk about her kind of project management, leadership support of that, as well as the other ones. Another topic I wanted to mention, it's going to be announced today or tomorrow that we've put a dissemination implementation science core together. I want to thank Nancy and a bunch of other folks, but since Nancy's on the screen, I'll give her all the credit. But a whole bunch of people who both put it in the strategic plan, then met as a retreat with really some thoughtful comments. So I'm blocking off 600,000, 300 a year, and we're going to be announcing the need for nominations for a director. So if any of you have an interest in that space, but I do see that as how do you bring best practices in the community, and best practices could include the topics you all think about all the time. I think it's also another area with which clinical faculty can start getting into a more scholarly research kind of career, because it's a natural way of thinking that is an easy transition without getting lost in statistics and all kinds of other methodologies, although it has its own methodology. Helen beat me to the punchline on December 12th, the Health Equity Summit. So again, if you're interested in that, deep message Helen or send her an email or something that you'd be interested. And guess what? She's going to probably be calling many of you anyway. I also announced last week that our new Vice President for Finance and Administration will be starting, Rebecca Napier. She's from FAU, but's also been at UT Southwestern and the University of Kentucky. She rose to the top by far in our national search, and I'm feeling blessed that she's coming to join us, and really brings a lot of strength in working in academic health centers. She's overseen surgery departments. So intermixing all the funds flow will be critical, because lots of times there's unintended consequences. And the last thing I wanted to say is congrats to Dean Sanchez. And I thought that in a formal, well, not formal, in a way, I just want to recognize you as such an amazing, great leader. It's been such a pleasure to work with you. I do have your cell phone number, so forget about getting lost. I'll know how to get you. But seriously, you've been an amazing leader, really done a great job, and we'll miss you. And I know you're going to do great in your next role. And it is the next level up, so I'm going to have to get you the Next Level Up book as you sort of move into that next role. But I thought, let's just give JP a quick hand on all his great work. And I know there'll be many other goodbye party activities, but since I think this is our first meeting since your announcement, just want to wish you all the best. And that's it for me, unless there's questions.
Any questions? Any questions? Well, as always, thank you so much, Dr. Sardonis, for being with the Inclusive Excellence Committee and Council to discuss all these very important initiatives. I think you, since your start, even before your start, you've been dedicated to DEI, and especially now as many universities question what DEI means and whether to actually say diversity, equity, inclusion is something safe, you've remained steadfast. So I really applaud your commitment, dedication, and dedication to excellence, specifically around DEI. So thank you so much for that. Helen, please also share, welcome, first of all, but also please share the date in the chat box for the Health Equity Summit. I encourage everyone on this call to open up your calendar right now and put down the town hall on October 3rd. From noon to 1 p.m. and the Health Equity Summit as well. I think, Helen, you mentioned it was December 12th. December 12th. So please put it on your calendars now. I know everyone's calendar fills up very quickly. Any questions for Dr. Sardonis before he jets off? All right. Well, thank you again.
Yep.
So just in adding to many of the great things that are happening on campus, just want to share a couple of announcements that you all have been engaged in. We're going to start off with the Heritage Months, but this is another opportunity to speak up and share your announcements. I know that Dr. Crandall also has an announcement. So this will be a good moment right after the update on the climate survey, Cameron, to share your announcement and anyone else. As you all know, we continue to recognize and honor various minoritized groups in our community and across the country. We're currently celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th. It was a very successful Loteria event led by our students, and we have a couple of upcoming events, including our Spanish Language within Health Professions Education 2023 Summit. It's the 50th anniversary of the Bilingual Multicultural Education Act of 1973 here in New Mexico. And I think that we're at a pivotal time with our Indigenous communities and our Hispanic communities and many other communities to think about what is language and linguistic equity. So please join us on, I know it's a Saturday, October 7th for this multi-hour, really important event. And as you know, each of the schools have been ramping up their efforts to formalize, standardize efforts and curriculums. I'm also excited to share that we have our special Hispanic Heritage Month Excellence Award event on October 10th, where we'll be honoring several community members. There's a link where you can put forth any activities for Hispanic Heritage Month that is currently not on the calendar. If you're, through your entities, organizing something, please send it to Amaris and the team so we can add it to the calendar. October is Disability Awareness Month. We already have a set of events that'll be going up shortly. However, if you also have ideas or events, please let us know stat. And November is Native American Heritage Month, and we also have a great set of events for that as well. So please use the link. Helen?
Oh, thanks, JP. I just remembered so many things going on, but we are also co-sponsoring the National Hispanic Cultural Center's Dia de Salud y Matanza, which is happening this Saturday. And pleased to share that we have the College of Pharmacy, the College of Nursing, the College of Population Health, and also HR, who are going to be tabling to share information about jobs, but also career pathways, and a lot of other great information. So 9 to 2, I think, at the Hispanic Cultural Center. They're going to have a car show. They're going to have a chili fundraiser. They're going to share information about educational opportunities. So it's going to be a great celebration, and I hope to see you all there.
Excellent. That's exactly what we want to hear during these forums, Helen. If you could please send us the flyer and we could put it up on the shared celebrations page. So thank you for that. Now remember that this year, we're not limiting ourselves to 7 months, we're up to 13, including such months as Arab American Heritage Month and Jewish American Heritage Month. And those next, it's going to be a big winter spring session. Next slide. We recently put out a survey, and I'm asking everyone to please look in your email right now, put it to the top, and maybe even fill it out in the next couple of minutes. We know that there's been a history, if we could go back a slide, a history of DI committees existing on this campus for decades, over 50 years, but we've never had one page where we list all these committees and the great work that they're doing, but them as resources. So I ask us to come together, create a list so that instead of just creating new committees, we take inventory of the committees we currently have and join those committees in a spirit of collaboration and collegiality. So if you could take a minute, fill it out yourself for your entity, and also pass it on to colleagues. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Smart for our next update. Dr. Smart.
All right. So can you hear me all okay? I am in transit, so I'm on phone today. The Community Connection and Reflection Book Club continues to go strong. We have moved to the nonfiction book for September and October called The Warmth of Other Suns. A tremendous book. If you prefer audio books, it also has a fantastic narration, an opportunity to have conversations related to the specific individuals in these stories, but also one of the characters in here it was a physician, and so it has an interesting intersection of talking about migration and African American and Black experience in this Black physician specifically. So hopefully, if you haven't read the book, you have an interest in doing so, and encourage you to join our. We still have 3 monthly meetings. The other piece is we still have the IPE honors section of the book club. The element of that is meeting once a month to dialogue with the students on the same books that we read as the HSC, where Dr. Rogers and I are also looking at ways to expand some interaction with the students, creating a Moodle and thinking through a more specific elective for our students as regards to dialogue and conversation related to the books and humanities in general. So that is the book club. And you know, one of the elements, Dr. Sanchez, that I think would be important to think about, as well as folks detail their DEI committees, it looks like there's also some book clubs that are popping up at different places. And if folks are interested in having others join, you know, maybe it's a book club that's meant to be for a closed group, and that's absolutely fine too. But the more we have spaces to bring people together to talk about these difficult or interesting or dynamic topics is really the heart behind the book club for me. So I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Lindsay, thank you so much for your leadership. You're absolutely right. I think we should think about that survey as another way of elevating our reflection. So let's talk about that. But thank you for your leadership in starting this book club. Cameron, can you please share an update on the climate survey
Sure.
and the summit?
Yeah, just a couple of quick announcements, because I know gonna need to save some time for the rest of our agenda. The climate survey group has been busy at work, a bit more in the behind the scenes. So we're at the phase right now where Rankin Climate is working on their analysis and report back. We have no insight into what the report has said. We have not seen anything yet, but we're looking forward to starting to get some initial information at the end of October, and then we'll be able to share once we've got a opportunity to review the report initially. We'll be able to share that on November 9th, and we have the date here. So those who are members of the Climate Assessment Working Group will also have a very brief period of time. I think we still at 7 days or so to be able to review the report and to get it back for Rankin to provide either clarity or additional information. The other thing is, I dropped into the chat. We have our annual LGBTQ Health Summit. That will be on November 11th. It's a Saturday. Really great topics. We'll be discussing LGBTQ immigrants. We'll have a panel of individuals who identify as both LGBTQ as well as either hard of hearing, living with chronic medical conditions, or have a disability. So it'll be a really nice panel to understand the intersectional issues that affect these groups. So the event is free. I think I also dropped in, hopefully that link works. If not, it will work in the flyer. Please register. We do provide food, and so we just want to know how many people are coming.
Excellent. Similarly, Cameron, thank you for your leadership around LGBT advocacy. You know, one of the things that drew me here is that we do have a high-ranking individual just focused on LGBT.
And this is the last week for Dr. Ed Van Kovic. He will be retiring on Friday. So that he preceded me, and he'll be sorely missed.
Yes, thank you. So thank you, everyone, for the updates. Dr. Fernander, thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of the Inclusive Excellence Council as the lead for the School of Medicine. We're grateful for your presentation on the Office of DI in School of Medicine. We can see the slide. I don't, just want to make sure that audio is on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, great.
Thanks, JP. I appreciate it. And congratulations again to you. I want to go quickly through the slides and provide a few updates on some of the initiatives that we have been implementing in the School of Medicine DEI office. I do want to start by sharing our theme for our office is creating a beloved community. And the idea behind the beloved community was really kind of brought to the forefront by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights era of the late 1950s and 1960s. but the phrase was first used by philosopher Josiah Rice, who founded the organization, the Fellowship of Reconciliation in the 1800s. So really the beloved community is the understanding that each and every one of us are beloved, that every person has inalienable rights and is created equal, and we are built for community. So creating a community, a society, an institution, a school of medicine where everyone is seen, everyone is respected, and where everyone is enabled to thrive and realize their full potential. And just quickly highlighting the principles, justice, and regarding justice, academic medicine's role in realizing health justice requires that we address the structural determinants embedded within policies, systems, and procedures within academic medicine that sustain inequalities. When it comes to equity, equity is the state in which everyone has a fair and just opportunity to attain their highest level of health. And we seek transformative change when we talk about equity. And it's key to remember that when we talk about equity, equity is not always necessarily equated with equality. Why? Because some population groups have been historically under-resourced and disadvantaged. And in order to level the playing field, it may require additional and/or varied resources for those groups, certain groups, to reach kind of a normative baseline. Diversity is the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds. We all contribute to diversity. And inclusion, the practice of providing equal access to opportunities and resources. And inclusive health is based on two main principles: equitable access and full participation. And so my charge to all of our School of Medicine constituents is to be a Jedi. And many of you have probably seen these little quotes at the bottom of my email where I like to highlight that diversity is a fact, equity is a choice, inclusion is an action, while belonging is an outcome. And here are our School of Medicine Be Jedi team members. We have Renee Smith, who many of you often hear from. She's a very, very efficient program administrator. Our Assistant Dean of DEI, Katie Reyes. Our leader of language equity, Dr. Veronica Plaza. We have two co-directors of our UME curricular, who are Doctors Jessica Goodkind and Dr. Charity Bishop. Dr. Bishop recently came on board, so her photo is not included here. Also, Dr. Anthony Flake, who's on the line, serves as our curricular co-director for our HPP and REO programs. And both Doctors Miriam Salas and Dr. Paul oversee our DEI curricular for our GME programs. We also have designated departmental representatives, most of whom you see here. We are encouraging every department to assign at least one faculty member to serve as their DEI representative. Some of the things that we do or are currently doing is every week we send out our weekly opportunities, both separately for faculty and staff, as well as for our learners. If you're not seeing those, particularly the ones from faculty and staff, those should be coming from your departmental DEI reps. So please stay on them to ask them to forward those on to the departments. Our DEI training opportunities is sent from our marketing office. We also have established quarterly Be Jedi newsletters. We often frequently put in there announcements, awards, brief articles related to DEI, as well as further opportunities or events that are oncoming. We have established a sub-award committee where will be presenting awards during the month of February during our BJEDI Speaker Series inaugural event, which I'll talk a little bit about later, where we will award a trainee, a faculty member, a staff member, as well as recognize either a School of Medicine program, unit, department on the work that they do to support our DEI initiatives within the School of Medicine. We support our trainees through affinity groups, including the Student National Medical Association, the Latino Medical Student Association, our Association of Native American Medical Students, also supporting students through SACNAS. We recently, last month or earlier this month, sent 4 students to attend the LMSA meeting in Atlanta. And here's just a few photos, some of our conference sponsorships that we provide through our office. You will also see on our DEI website for the School of Medicine, we often have folks come and present during our monthly DEI council, departmental council meetings. We did have Liz Hutchinson come during, I believe it's during the month of August, to talk about faculty resources and staff resources regarding how to report experiences of harassment, bullying, discrimination, and so forth. And that is now up on our School of Medicine DEI website and serves as a resource. Many of you have heard about our BJEDI book club. So at the School of Medicine level, we have established a book, and the book that we are reading currently is See No Stranger by Valerie Kaur. She is an activist, a Sikh activist, nationally known for her work and advocacy in the space of DEI. And we selected this book in particular because we have also invited her to be our inaugural speaker. She will be coming to speak on campus February 23rd. I believe it's at 6 p.m. It's on a Friday. This event will be open to not just our School of Medicine constituents, but our HSC folks, our folks from main campus, as well as external community members. And we'll be advertising more about and promoting more about that event at a later time. We have started a group on women in medicine and science, which Dr. Katie Reyes, the Assistant Dean for DEI in the School of Medicine, has taken the lead on. We are just nearing the completion of our officers, electing our officers for our GWIMS chapter, and we will be announcing those anytime soon. During the month of March, which is Women's Health Month, we will be kicking off our inaugural GWIMS event and have invited Dr. Amy Gottlieb to speak. She is well known for her work in looking at equity, particularly gender equity in academic medicine. I invited her to speak at my prior institution, and she did a phenomenal job. She also serves as the GWIMS lead for the AAMC this year as well. So we're really blessed to be able to bring her here to campus in March of next year. Some examples of the events that we support, community events we support are the Healing Together community event that Dr. Flake held in August that many of you were invited to and attended. We also provide strategic guidance and support on trainee recruitment and retention to all of our departments and divisions. In addition, guidance in URIM faculty recruitment and retention. We are coming up with a formal document and checklist for all of our searches, and we'll be presenting that process to all of our leaders and department chairs in the School of Medicine when that is completed. We provide faculty development opportunities. We have partnered with the Latino Medical Student Association faculty and physician leadership, as well as BENGAP, and forward announcements for opportunities for leadership development from various organizations, including the AAMC, and do provide a little bit of funding to support those initiatives as well. Obviously, we are very supportive of our language equity initiatives. A recent article came out highlighting this as an issue across the nation, and was within the AAMC news report with the link there. Many of your colleges and schools are also developing initiatives as well. So we are working together, and I'm glad that Dr. Sanchez and HSC has organized the upcoming conference to address these issues. We do conduct annual DEI surveys. The first one that we conducted, we completed in June, and are disseminating our results of the survey. We basically are trying to understand the work that's being done in our various departments, and getting that information from our departmental representatives. And we did present the report on that during our last DEI meeting. We will be disseminating that report to our School of Medicine leaders and departmental chairs actually later this afternoon in preparation for our meeting tomorrow. So we do also collaborate and partner. We feel that it's very critical that our office is not siloed, that we're working together with many of our other units and offices across the School of Medicine, as well as HSC. And here are just a few that we do work with. And also across the institution, UNM working with Dr. Asada Zarai on main campus as well. We have some future initiatives that we will be putting forth, as well as some mentorship opportunities, faculty development opportunities, through, as well as supporting our pathway programs, particularly working with HSC and their Communities to Careers pathway programs, to really get the School of Medicine faculty and students and staff really engaged in that effort. I spoke really fast because I was told I only had 10 minutes to present, but I'm happy to share my slides. But I want to end on just kind of sharing this quote. Our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require not just a qualitative change in our souls, but a quantitative change in our lives as well. I'm happy to entertain it if folks have questions, JP, or if you have questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fernanda. Very comprehensive presentation detailing all of the collaborations and a continuation of work being advanced through your leadership at the School of Medicine. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask that we hold questions for all of our three speakers to the end, just to allow each one to present. I'm going to call up next Dr. Pilar San Juan from RCTSC.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Can everybody see it? I stole the Hispanic Heritage Month Zoom background and made it my PowerPoint background. So I'm going to talk to you about the CTSC DEI initiatives. And I'll start with, let me see if I can do this successfully. We've created a DEI training website, and that's pretty new. We took information from the UNM HSC Office for DEI, as well as the FDA and NIH and the MRCT Center in Boston. And I think I can just show you the website. There we go. Can everybody see the website? So this is the website that we've put together. It has a variety of different ways to increase participant representation in research, or diverse representation in your research. The MRCT is the Multi-Regional Clinical Trials Center in Boston. That's at Brigham Women's Hospital in Harvard. So there's guidance, documents, representation toolkits. There's a lot of information for researchers for incorporating DEI into their protocols. And then we also have some links to the other resources here at UNM. And so if anybody has anything else they think we should put on that website, please just let me know. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint, hopefully. Okay. And we also have an upstander intervention practice that we've developed, and we have Regis here on the call also, who is going to tell you a little bit about that. Regis, do you want to go ahead and describe what we did?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Pilar. Hi, everybody. I'm Regis Locker, trainer at the CTSC. And Upstander Intervention Practice is a CTSC workshop program that we had the chance to develop with a great deal of input from Dr. Lindsay Smart, who's here. Hi, Lindsay. She co-facilitates these sessions with me. And what we've done is put together a training package that's specific to the research side of things. We're looking at research staff, at students, trainees, as well as faculty. And our curriculum essentially exposes people to research-backed harassment intervention techniques. So we educate people on the best ways to deal with witnessing harassment or other inappropriate behavior in the workplace. And then the bulk of the program is a couple hours of people actually intervening in academic science scenarios. So these are specific scenarios that are things that folks across the entire spectrum of staff and faculty and trainees could and will probably encounter within a research space. So we've been able to conduct this with some CTSC teams, as well as with some research teams who are receiving pilot funding from the CTSC. And in those cases, we've seen nice progress in terms of people's self-reported confidence and their ability to stand up for their peers and for their colleagues in the science workplace. So the way we do this is two ways. We really want to make this something that is a part of team building. And we want to make this something that aligns with what Dr. Fernando was talking about regarding belonging being an outcome. So the way we do this is we generally want to come in and train a group of leaders in an organization. And then we pass those leaders the materials so they can train their specific team. So it's essentially, we provide the training, we play the game with you, and then we pass it on to the team so they can develop their sort of own internal culture. So we've seen a lot of value in this. There's a great deal of flexibility in this. We can do this face-to-face, we can do this Zoom, we can chunk it up in a whole variety of ways. So I just wanted to come in and share some information about this and say that, and also put my email address in the chat if anyone wants to hear more about this or potentially just arrange a session of this as well.
Thank you, Regis. Some of the other things we've been working on is we also have within our integrating special populations group, we have community engagement liaisons. We have Cynthia Killo, who's been working with the community health councils across the whole state. So in Bernalillo, as well as in the more rural areas. And we just recently hired Randy Benali as our tribal engagement liaison. And he will be helping researchers engage with the different tribal organizations in the state, as well as helping those tribal organizations engage with UNM. We've conducted 4 community engagement studios. And what this means is that we went to the 4 rural quadrants of New Mexico, and we met with the members of the community health councils in those 4 quadrants. And we asked them what they needed to know from researchers in order to decide whether they wanted to be engaged in research projects. So not in order to engage, but to decide whether they wanted to. And we've been developing materials from those. We've finished the studios, and we've been putting together materials to return to those groups in those 4 quadrants to tell them both to feed back to them what they said to us, what we heard, but also to feed back to them what the other quadrants told us as well. And then we're also developing materials from that to disseminate to the greater UNM HSC community and the greater research community in New Mexico as well. So keep an eye out for that. I'm sure I'll let you guys know when we have that. And then we also have the response team, which does consultations to UNM and community researchers to improve community efforts across New Mexico. And so what that means is that when somebody contacts us, we have them meet with people who do community engagement work and help them design their projects so that they can be truly community engaged in a way that builds trust with our community. And then we also worked with Anthony for the Healing Together Symposium. And one of the beautiful things that came out of that was this graphic, because we had an artist who designed this as a representation of what came out of the symposium. The CTSC members moderated one of the Healing Together panels, and our Cynthia Killo, our community engagement liaison, was also a member of one of the panels, where she shared tips on how to engage with the community within and outside of UNM HSC. And the CTSC CERC team also supported the event by assisting with survey distribution and timekeeping during the panel, and we provided some financial support to the symposium too. And then I'm trying to go quick so I don't take up too much time before we're over, but the Integrating Special Populations team and committee has also been exploring how we collect demographics. So one of the things that CTSC does is when researchers are working with us, so this includes the pilots and other people who are using CTSC services, as we collect from them demographics, which we report back to NIH. But we've been doing that in the NIH way. And so we are now expanding the demographic categories that are tracked to be more inclusive and meaningful, while still allowing us to report the categories back to NIH as NIH requests them, which is sometimes changing over time. And we read and discussed a paper that was from the AMA with updated guidance on the reporting of race and ethnicity in medical and science journals. And we're working on updating our instructions to PIs who work with us to reflect these changes and to make them more inclusive. And then we've also been working on a career pathway program. It was noticed that there was a gap in the workforce area in clinical and translational research, where there was a low representation of Native American and Hispanic employees, so the research staff. And so we're putting together a career pathway program for students in 2- to 4-year programs who want to enter the healthcare arena as research staff, especially American Indian and Hispanic Latino representatives, so that we can address diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion, and help build trust with the New Mexico community in the research that UNM is conducting. So this isn't necessarily staff for CTSC, but for all of UNM and for other research groups in the state. So we're developing the training program with partnerships on the UNM main campus and also with local community colleges. And we're collaborating with the emergency department, workforce development program. And the plan is to provide internships, education, and training opportunities. So that's still in progress. And that is everything for me today. So I will stop sharing. And please let me know if you have any questions. I think we're probably out of time for them, but you can certainly email me at, I'm just psanjuan@salud.
Thank you so much, both Dr. San Juan and Dr. Latcher for presenting on CTSC's efforts. Both in programs, School of Medicine and CTSC, really doing global work across many pillars. Continue to put comments and questions in the chat box. We have one more presenter, Director Hendricks. Ingrid, are you on, or is someone else on for Hislick? Okay. Well, it seems like Hislick isn't able to join us for these next couple of minutes. So what we're going to do is, please, I know right after each session, we didn't afford a lot of time to pose questions to Dr. Fernander and Dr. San Juan. We can use this time to provide comments and questions or other thoughts to our distinguished colleagues, and open up the floor for any other questions or comments.
Dr. Sanchez, if I could add a point, I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for the informative presentations. And I also wanted to take a moment to congratulate UNM Hospital and UNM Health Sciences for a successful Go Girl Empowerment Summit. I know Millie's with us, and Nicole was also instrumental, as well as others. But this is a wonderful opportunity to bring hundreds of middle school students to the University of New Mexico. And I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate them. Those efforts are critically important, and congratulations to all of you for those efforts.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. So Director Hendricks is joining. She should be on momentarily, but while she's joining, any other questions and comments? Amy?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the great presentations. I always enjoy learning what other people are doing on our campus. Pilar, I think our team will be sending you an email to connect. We're really excited about your career pathway program. I'd love to learn more about how we could refer students to that in the future. And then I'm also going to add a flyer and some info in the chat for us all. But we have a great opportunity for health science students through our New Mexico Center of Excellence for Workforce Diversity grant. We have our Health Profession Student Scholars Program. The application for that is due on Friday. So it is interprofessional. So if y'all could just do one last push out to students that you see this week, we would really appreciate it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. We're still waiting a couple of minutes for Ingrid to join. Just one reflection I would like to share, and I think that both Pilar and Anita, you did this extremely well. What it means to serve and be a part of an HSC campus. Both of you highlighted collaborations that you've built, not only across your units, but with entities across HSC and entities on the regional and national level. So thank you for that leadership. We uniquely can afford that as a health sciences center because of our composites of entities, but two, it's your leadership style to really focus on collegiality and collaboration. So I just wanted to say thank you. Anyone else? And I don't know if Ingrid has joined yet. Any other comments or questions? Oh,
I'll just throw out there that Nancy Condi is also very much responsible for many of those things because I have taken over some of the things that she was already doing, so I can't take full credit for any of that.
Thanks, Pilar, but you're making everything much better. So I appreciate your leadership of this area for SATs.
any other announcements? Or final comments or questions? It might be that Ingrid is having some computer problems getting on. Any final announcements or comments?
Well, I think it was big enough announcement that you're going to be a dean, so, you know.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone. What drew me, and I've mentioned this to all of you, to UNM, in addition to the community of New Mexico, is you are a health sciences center, better phrased as a health and health sciences now. And it's been so different for me coming from Albert Einstein College of Medicine as a standalone medical school to Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School after that, which had many of the same entities, but there was no unifying administrative body. So coming here and seeing the history of the work and current efforts to continue to build that has been inspirational. So I want to just really thank everyone because I think you're really going to be able to improve the health of New Mexico and be a model for other health and health sciences communities across this country. So I'm hoping that we'll continue to get to work together.
Well, and we're expecting a pathway from your university to our residency program. So start getting it ready.
No, putting it out there, I think, and hearing the early messages of a Native American regional medical campus, I think is past due for our Native American communities. I just learned that 60% of all medical schools, allopathic, have regional medical campuses, and I can't think of a better place than New Mexico because of the rurality, the large state, and the communities. Great, unique opportunity. So, yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to all collaboration. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We will reschedule Ingrid. Hislick has been doing phenomenal work as well. So thank you, everyone. We'll continue to share the videos. Thank you again, Pilar and Anita. Have a great day today.